What's going on, y'all? It's Ryan, the Amateur Dad, and today I'm with a good friend of mine. This is Josh. He's an IT guy. He's a security guy. He's a father. He's an anime guy. We wear a lot of hats.
I'm the light-skinned LeBron. Let's not forget that one.
Light-skinned LeBron. He don't play like he's an Egyptian.
Some say.
But I'll let you introduce yourself. You know, you can tell people about yourself.
All right. Like Ryan said, my name is Josh. I'm a father. Got a 2-month-old daughter now. A little chubby girl.
Yeah.
I'm in IT, specialize in security. Yeah.
So you just got into your security role, right?
Yep. Tomorrow makes 2 months.
Nice. How's everything going so far?
A lot of learning.
Yeah.
A lot of learning. Just getting used to new policies and things like that. Especially with the company I work for. A lot of policies. So.
Is it everything that you thought it would be?
No. There's a lot of boring things. I'm not going to go into detail.
Okay.
But, me, I specialize in, of course, in security, but in security, ethical hacking or pen testing.
Right.
So me, I just want to hack all day. But that's not, the reality of my job. No.
So it's not like a movie where, you're like, you hit the keyboard 4 times.
No.
You've broken into NASA.
No, don't look at swordfish as what
not
hacking
at all.
is. No, you can't press J13 and break into a whole network. No.
All right, cool. So let's start from the beginning. When did you know you wanted to be in IT?
IT specifically, I would say 6 months into college.
Okay.
So I always had a desire for technology, specifically, again, hacking. At a young age, I was just fascinated by those movies we just described.
Right.
I could press 3 keys and, man, I
can own the world.
Right. I can hack the ATM and I can hack a car and I can hack all this with three buttons. But when I was in college, this is a true story, I was in school for game design.
Okay.
6 months in, I noticed this wasn't for me. I didn't know how to draw.
Okay.
But the main thing, there was no girls in the classroom. So I'm like, I can't draw. All they do is watch YouTube videos all day of video games.
Right.
And there are no girls in the room.
So
I got to change my major.
Right, okay.
So it was actually between IT and computer forensics.
Okay.
So I was leaning more towards forensics.
Okay.
And one of my instructors, he was actually my first IT teacher in college. He was he basically directed me into IT. And, he told me you can learn forensics in IT. And there's more job opportunity in IT instead of forensics. You're just specialized just for forensics.
Right.
Yeah.
So you differentiate between IT and security a lot, especially when we talk. So I guess people watching would know that, but when we talk, you differentiate. Explain what the difference is to you. So between IT and then between security, because to me, IT is kind of the overarching. It's over everything, and then you kind of break it down as you go further down the tree.
Yeah.
So for you, how do you look at it?
I would agree. Under one umbrella, everything tech related, I would consider IT, just because it's information technology.
Right.
But there's a big difference between the security portion and the, let's say, my past jobs. I was a systems administrator.
Okay.
And I was in charge of managing Linux servers, Windows servers, just everything technology really.
Right.
But I was also involved with help desk.
Okay.
So in information security now, for my role, I'm specifically only doing security tasks.
Okay.
And there's they're different views. So when I was in IT, of course I was focusing on all right, let me build this new virtual Windows server, right?
Right.
And of course I'm going to make it secure to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But from the information security perspective, they look at how I'm looking at it to how I built it with my security standards. But then they're attacking it from all these different perspectives.
Right.
And it's me as a systems administrator, I'm not thinking about those ways.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So going back, so you're in school.
Yep.
You go from game design to you were thinking cyber forensics.
Yep.
But you ended up in IT.
Ended up in IT.
Okay. So now that and then you graduated, right?
Of course.
So was it worth it? Like, knowing what you know now,
okay.
Would you, like, let's say your daughter comes to you in 12 years and like, hey, Dad, I think when I get older, I want to go to college.
Okay.
What do you tell
her? For me, it's...
For IT, I'm sorry.
She wants to go to school. Okay.
School for IT.
I would say, well, let me just go back to my experience.
Okay.
Do I think it was worth it? Maybe not. A lot of the stuff that I learned in college, it didn't help me at all. Like, in the real world, no.
Okay.
But that could also be my fault. Like, maybe I didn't study hard enough and I didn't, like, memorize what they were teaching me. I think the best part of, like, college was networking.
Okay.
Like, because even though I graduated, like, a couple years ago, maybe, like, 5 years ago, I still had those contacts.
Right.
So, like, you know, we reach out to each other. We help each other out. If they have leads on jobs, you know, they refer me, I refer them, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was like the best part of college, just the networking portion.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, after being on like countless interviews and I was never asked like, oh, let me hear more about your college experience.
Right.
You have a degree?
Yeah.
No, they were always fascinated with my certifications and my experience. So
okay.
What I know now, if I knew it back then, I would probably not go to college. I would just get like certifications. Okay. That way I wouldn't be in debt. Like I wouldn't have student loans. Yeah. So fast forwarding, my daughter, if she wants to be in IT when she, you know, goes to college, I will really ask her like, is this something you really want to do?
Right.
And I will explain to her, you know, you can get certifications, but you know, times like everything changes so much now. So by the time she's like 18, 19, wanting to go to college, you know, it might be something different. So
that's true. But the way I look at it, I think college has been around, or the institution, young college has been around a very long time.
Yep.
And it's always been the same. You go to college, you get a good job, and that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
But I would say probably after maybe the 80s. Maybe a little bit before that changed. You have a lot of people who have bachelor's degrees, and they're no better than a high school degree.
Yeah, and even people with masters, like they don't even have jobs.
Right.
Or they work at like in retail or something like that. Yeah.
And so recently, I don't know if you heard, Apple and Google took away their college requirements.
I did. I seen it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and those are two really big tech companies, or just companies in general. You can take out the fact that they're tech companies. They're just two very big companies. And for them to do that, I think that sets a kind of status quo.
Oh, yeah.
So, to me, and I've always said, college isn't going to exist forever. Not in the way we see it right now, anyway. There's too many negatives behind it. Right now, you have everyone in student loan debt.
Yep.
You know, I'm in it, you're in it, everyone is paying student loans. And then people are upset with the way college is, the way you go to college. Like, you go to college and you take a bunch of classes that you'll never use.
Never use.
Humanities classes, science classes.
All the math classes.
Right.
It's
like you don't need that if you're going into certain things. If I want to be, you know, a literature teacher, why do I need to take
calculus?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think college will kind of go away.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like with all the new like teaching methods out there. Like you have YouTube. I've learned so much stuff off YouTube alone.
That's where I learn everything.
Yeah, just Googling. You have these different outlets like
LinkedIn,
Udemy, you know, and all these different...
which is actually LinkedIn Learning now. I just found that out.
Yeah, and then look at how much they cost versus if I take a college class, you know, just the prices. Like,
and that's the best way to really look at it, because when you first look at it, especially if it's like a monthly cost, you're like, I'm not about to spend $30 a month on this. But then if you think about it, in that $30 a month, you're getting access to all their courses.
All of them.
Versus you paying $5,000
for one class. Right. And
so,
they're just teaching you something specific.
And they teach you the exact same way. They give you the learning material usually. You know.
And you learn it at your own speed. Right. I think that's very important because, like, you know, a lot of people, they go to work or they have kids. Like, everybody can't go to college and, you know, study for a test. So if you can do it at your own speed, I think that's really helpful.
I agree.
And then the fact, like you said, these big tech companies are taking away the need for a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're setting a standard for like all companies now. Like,
Yeah.
and if Google and these other big companies are accepting this, maybe we should take a chance.
Right. Yeah. I totally agree. So you finish college.
Okay.
What's your next move? Where do you go from there?
From college, I got my degree. I'm like you said, you get a degree, you get a good paying job.
Right.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, I got my degree, time to make my 6 figures.
Right. Exactly.
I couldn't even land like a permanent role.
You're working contract.
Yeah, with a lot of like contract positions. All right, Josh, here goes a 6-month contract. Here goes a 3-month contract. Here goes a 2-week contract.
Right.
So of course I'm taking all of these positions just to build up my resume and build up my experience.
Right.
But it's just like, man, like I was at school for 3 years.
Right.
Why can't I get a full-time job?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a degree in IT. Like every company needs an IT person.
Right.
So like, yeah, I couldn't understand it. But like maybe 8 months later, I finally landed like a full-time role.
Okay.
And it wasn't even something like I really wanted like that.
Yeah.
It was a tech role, but it wasn't like IT specific.
Okay.
I did that for like a year and a half and got a couple promotions, and I finally got on the actual IT team.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that was like my first, I guess, IT job.
Right. So you work at TransUnion now.
Yep.
What's your day-to-day like? What you can't tell.
What
I'm
I
sure
can't
there's
tell.
certain things you don't want to be telling everyone your best practices and everything.
Yeah, and I can't give up like sensitive information.
What's your IP address again at work?
Yep. So day to day differs. So I might start off with a specific tool we use. Someone may send an email asking me to configure like these servers to show them like whatever vulnerabilities are on them, just so they can have like a view of it. Another request may be something with a vulnerability scanner we use for me to configure like a new site or a new, say, asset group, just to scan, and so they could again like have a report of what's all vulnerable. Some of the fun stuff I do is like a remediation validation, where a department will present to me, Josh, this server, it had these vulnerabilities. We fixed them.
Okay.
Can you, let's say, how do I want to say this? Can you test them, basically?
Okay.
Can you just test them to make sure that all the vulnerabilities are gone?
Right.
And then I'm able to do, I guess you would consider it some pen testing.
Okay.
Where I can run certain tools, Kali Linux, maybe. Certain tools just to test to make sure the, vulnerability is remediated, basically.
Okay.
That's some other boring stuff, but that's kind of like the fun stuff.
Okay. So you have certifications, I'm assuming. That's kind of how you learn how to do a lot of what you do now.
Yeah.
Right?
And YouTube.
and YouTube and Google and
all the fun stuff.
So what path would you say is the best way for someone who wants to get into security? Because to me, like, I want to go into security, and I have a specific way I want to do it, and I've noticed that the way you did it is different than how I picture I would like to do it.
Okay.
And I know we've spoke about it before. So to me, I would kind of like to go sysadmin, network admin, then security, like pen tester or something like that.
And you're referring to roles?
Yes.
So like system admin role, and then like a network admin, and then
and that's more so based because of from a knowledge standpoint, because I feel like those are all things that are important to know from a security standpoint. Just to kind of know the ins and outs.
Yeah. I think it also depends on like what type of, I guess, pen tester you want to be. So you have like some penetration testers, they're network pen testers, where if you had your like the networking experience, it would be really well for you to if you decided to go network route for pen testing. But then you have some people that focus more on like web app penetration testing. So just testing like different websites and web applications.
Okay.
I mean, networking may be helpful in there a little bit, but not as much as like
scripting,
or having some developer skills, like some type of. I wouldn't say you need to be a programmer, but if you can understand like the syntax, that's always helpful. then you have some pen testers that they tend to just like test like mobile apps only, and of course you would need to be a developer for that because you gotta same like with the web app testing. So I guess it depends on which route of pen testing you want to go.
Okay.
Or if you just want to be like a jack of all trades, then
do everything.
Do everything, right? But like me, my route was kind of like a help desk person.
Right. Where most people usually start.
Right. So. Then systems administrator, which I was touching both like Linux and Windows. Mm-hmm. I think one of the most important skills though is Linux.
And that's what I was going to ask you next. Why do you think Linux is so important?
For one, a lot of pen testers, like the operating systems they use to test with, they're usually Linux operating systems. So I know we spoke about like the Kali Linuxes and Parrot OS,
Switcher distributions, different distros of Linux.
Yep.
Do you have a preference?
I've been using a lot of Parrot lately. Yeah, Parrot a lot. But I think for me still Kali is like the GOAT. It's
so reliable.
Yeah.
Parrot still has its bugs. Mm-hmm. I've noticed when I've played around with it. Hell, sometimes updating it can be
every day when I turn it on, it's like you want to update 6,000 updates. It's like
So Kali is definitely a lot more reliable. Mm-hmm. But I do like I actually have Parrot installed on an actual laptop.
Yep.
And because it works as an everyday driver to me.
Definitely. That was going to be my next thing. Like, if you just wanted just to use a Linux system every day, I would use Parrot OS.
Right. Yep. Which is, and I believe that's based off Debian, if I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
It is Debian based. So, what are some of the things you would tell someone? What's the first thing someone should learn in Linux?
In Linux, just learn how to navigate in Linux.
Okay.
Just like
the file system.
Yeah, the file system.
Very different.
Learn how to open documents. Okay. So you can use your Nano or V. Right now, I'm actually learning Vim. Yeah, I'm learning Vim right now.
Such a headache.
Yeah. So I'm a Nano guy.
Okay.
But at work last week, I was doing a task and it was taking me a long time to do it.
In Nano?
No, it was just like I was just doing it on my Mac OS, just a manual task. But a friend of mine, the same task, he was able to do it in seconds.
Really?
Using Vim. Yeah.
Okay.
So he told me learn Vim and I'll show you how I did it.
Okay.
So I've been learning Vim this week, just so you can show me how to do that specific skill because it'll save me a lot of time during my real job. So during my everyday work, when people ask me to do something, this will save me a lot of time.
Because I've used Vim to set a few static IPs and mess with a couple other configuration files, but nothing
too serious.
No, because anytime I open it up, I'm like, I don't know what that line does. Because you can ruin a whole system quick.
Yes, definitely.
Take out one line. And I've messed up so many servers and everything at home.
Not in production.
Not production servers. Well, I have messed up a production server too, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, there's so much. You can mess up a lot, and it's hard to undo.
Yeah.
And it's almost impossible if you don't duplicate that file.
That file before you make any changes. Always create a backup file.
Yep.
I learned that the hard way. But going back to your previous question about certification.
Yes.
I would suggest going down the eLearn security route.
Everyone's saying that now.
Yeah. eLearn security, they have some amazing courses. If you want to get into, let's say, the offensive side, they have certifications and courses just for red teaming and offensive security pen testing. Mm-hmm. If you want to go down the blue team route, they have defending courses and certifications for that. They also have forensics courses now. They just dropped a new one. It's exploit development.
I saw that.
Creating malware and things like that.
That's a big thing. Now
it's huge.
Have you read anything on it?
Yeah. I touched on it a little bit when I was learning buffer overflow.
Okay.
But it's
a science.
Yes.
It's literally a science.
Yeah.
I was reading. Someone wrote an article on LinkedIn. I can't remember whoever it was, but I was reading it and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's like a headache. It's like its own world.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard a lot of people say, like a lot of pen testers, if you learn like exploit development, it's like you are like a top pen tester.
Well, if you think about it, those are the weapons.
That's true.
So if you know what exactly to look for, because the whole thing about when you're pen testing or when you're hacking is to
ethical hacking.
Right, ethical hacking. Or if you're looking for someone who maybe isn't an ethical hacker.
Okay.
The whole thing is knowing what to look for.
Yep.
It's looking for those little minute details because it's not like they're just putting it right in your face. It's not, hey, it's not an alarm. It's not the FBI virus.
Right.
If it's something serious.
Right.
It's hidden and it's pulling files. It's watching everything you're doing. There may be a keylogger or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you develop the malware, you're going to know the little glitches that it's going to cause. You're going to know, hey, it's going to strike a nerve.
Yeah.
So then, I would believe that's why.
Yeah, I always say like the top pen testers, the top hackers, whether bad or good, are the ones that, again, they're well versed in technology. They know how to program, and they know how to write exploits.
Right.
Like,
I don't have the patience to program. I've tried. Like, I can script because that's with a goal in mind, as far as I'm concerned.
Scripting for me is like something you want to do real quick.
Right.
Programming is,
what are you building?
Yes, and it's like its own beast. Like, if you know how to program, you can script.
Yeah. But it doesn't work the other way around. If you know how to script, that doesn't mean you know how to program.
No.
Because I can script.
Yeah.
I can't program.
Compiling and all, no.
Testing. It's tedious.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah. So back to certifications because we're getting off topic again. So you like eLearn security.
eLearn security.
What certifications do you currently hold?
Currently, eLearn, again, they offer that junior penetration testing certification, and it targets like both web app pen testing and network pen testing.
Okay.
It's a great course, great certification, great test. I suggest anyone who wants to get into pen testing, get that certification first.
Okay.
After that, they have multiple web app pen tests. I have the first one. It's like the level 1, and then they have an extreme one, which is like a level 2.
Okay.
If you want to get into, again, web app testing, I would suggest that one. That one's it's really hard.
Have you looked into? It was one I just really started paying attention to. I've heard of it a million times, but I've never paid attention to it. What is it? OSWP, I believe.
Oh, OSCP. Well, CP. They have a WP and they have a CP.
It's CP. That's the one.
Yeah, CP.
Everyone gets that one.
If you want to be a pen tester, that's the cert to have.
Right.
Or even if you don't want to be a pen tester, if you're in security, that's like one of the top certs. That would definitely get you the interview.
Have you thought about?
I've thought about it.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. Yeah. But it's just like eLearn securities. For offensive security, which is the OSCP, they have you do a pen test. You get 24 hours.
Okay.
And then after the 24 hours, you have to hack, take notes and all that. Then I think you get another 24 hours to write your report. Versus eLearn security, you get 7 days to attack the target. Take your notes, and then you get an additional 7 days to write your report. And for me, it's just like eLearn security knows you have a life.
Right.
Like you might be married, you might have kids, you might have a job. Right. So they know like you have a life outside of this exam. So
So you work in IT, you work in security. Something that we've all been through working in IT.
Okay.
We mess up. We mess up big.
Question.
When's the time when have you messed up? And how did you fix it, or what was the situation?
Okay. There was this one time I was a systems administrator, but I had just got a couple of my e-learn security certifications.
Okay.
So I had some experience with pen testing, things like that. So I was testing a web application.
Okay.
And using Burp, I basically was like fuzzying the website. So just trying to, discover different hidden directories, things like that. And I launched the attack.
Okay.
But since I was in IT, I had other things I also had to take care of, where like help desk would, like a help desk ticket would come in, or someone would call me, or email me, I need help with this.
Right.
So a couple of those came through, and I forgot I had launched the attack. So I'm busy helping them. Maybe 30 minutes may have went by, and I just hear someone shout, IT. Start what you're doing. We have to troubleshoot why one of the websites is down.
Oh no.
So I'm like, did you say X website was down? They were like, yeah. So I looked at my attack, and I had sent, I think it was 3 million requests to this web server.
Oh no.
And it caused the web server to crash. So yeah.
How'd that conversation with your manager go?
I was just like, Josh, no more testing during the day. Let's wait till after hours.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I've had something like that happen before. I think I told you about this. I wrote a script because I was being lazy.
Okay.
I did not feel like changing a bunch of computer names.
It's not being lazy; it's being actually smart.
Right, it was, but it was born of my laziness.
Yeah.
So I did not feel like changing a bunch of computer names. So I wrote a PowerShell script that would allow me to do this remotely.
Okay.
All I did was I took out the switch that forces the computer to restart. Right? Mm-hmm. So now when you change the computer name or server name or anything like that, you have to restart it so Active Directory will recognize it.
Yep.
I thought, hey, I don't want to do this in the middle of the day because then I got a bunch of users who got to restart their computer.
Yep.
So I'll take this out. Then at the end of the day, I'll go back in it and I'll send a massive shutdown sequence. Right?
Sounds bad, man.
It was pretty bad. So, I'm at work and I get a call from my manager like, yo, you got to get out this location. The whole site is down. No one can log into their computer after they lock it. I'm like, nope. What are you talking about?
Right.
So I'm like, I knew right away what it was. I'm like, oh.
You're playing dumb, though?
No, I didn't play dumb. I'm like, did they try and restart the computer? He's like, I don't think so. I'm like, yeah, they just got to restart it. He's like, no, just go out there. And so I have a lot of different locations that I handle. I did not feel like driving out because this location was like an hour away, and I was real close to being off, right? So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go out there. So I go out there, and I had to restart the computers, and that fixed it right away. My manager he was like, it's really good that you did that, but also don't do those kind of things. You didn't tell the users that you were doing it, so that's why
it was completely unaware.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole point. It was so
right. So I wouldn't disturb it.
Right, exactly. This was born of me listening to them complain all the time. So that was my mess up. That was my big mess up so far. I've had a bunch of mess ups in my home lab and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
I've erased servers. I've messed up networks where you just have to start from scratch.
Man. Yeah. Let's just keep that in the test environment.
Right. So, going kind of back, you're a father.
Yep.
And you're married.
Yep.
How do you balance doing? Because when you work in IT, it literally takes over your life.
Oh, definitely.
Everything you see, I dream about IT at this point.
I used to. I think I'm past that now.
You're past that? Or you're not getting a lot of sleep, probably.
Right.
So, but yeah.
What sleep?
Right. So, how do you balance your home life and your work life, or home life and IT? How do you make sure your wife gets enough time, your daughter gets enough time? There's...
Well, now, since the baby's 2 months now, I haven't had much time to study. Right. So, I've been spending a lot of time with her. Mm-hmm. Haven't really been studying a lot in my test environment, pen testing, any of those things. But I've been on LinkedIn a lot still.
Okay.
So on LinkedIn, just reading up on different attacks, different tools being made, different pen testing tools out there. So I'm not like actually practicing these things right now, but I'm learning up on. I'm reading up on.
Sure you're aware of what's going on.
Of the latest attacks, the latest vulnerabilities, things like that, the latest CVEs out. Okay. So yeah.
Okay.
No.
That's good.
But hopefully I get back to it soon.
Yeah, I'm still working on that. Pretty much, I've just given up on sleep. Like last night, I think I got an hour and a half of sleep because I was up all night. I was working on something with the Active Directory.
Okay.
And
AD fun.
Yeah, no, I was. I literally wanted to throw my computer last night because I didn't do what I wanted to do. So I'm like, all right, I'm done. It's 2:30. I gotta wake up at 5.
2:30.
Yeah.
And you have to work.
Yeah. No, it was 1:30. I'm sorry. It was 1:30. I have to wake up at 5. I figure, all right, I can still get like 3.5 hours sleep, maybe 4 hours if I'm, a little late.
Right.
So I'm walking to the bedroom. Then I hear my window up. Dad.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
So we just put him in his own crib and everything. So I go get him, give him a bottle because he still drinks a bottle every now and then. And I lay him in our bed. Mm-hmm. He wants to play. So
at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it is pitch black in our room. He stands up on the bed and starts jumping.
He just had night vision.
Yeah. And he did not go to sleep until 3:30. Yep.
Was that the same time you went to sleep over summer?
Yeah. Well, so I was falling in and out of sleep. I didn't care what he was doing at that point, but at that moment, I was done. So yeah, I will forgo sleep to study and to work on to lab or anything like that. Okay. Like, I lab as much as I possibly can because, like you said, that's a really good way to learn.
Yeah, definitely. Hands on. Best way of learning. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. So we have questions for you, like rapid fire questions, and we have like one big question for you. Which one would you rather do first?
Let's do the big question.
You want to do the big question first? Where are you headed now? What's your next goal? But yeah, so where are you going next? What's your next step? What's your next role? Like, what are your future endeavors?
I definitely would like to pursue more e-learn security certs because I actually bought the bundle and it comes with like 4 certs. Okay. So I still have like 3 certs to get that I already paid for. Okay. So, my goal is to at least knock 2 more of those out. Okay. And then eventually I want the OSCP.
You gonna go for it?
I want to. Yeah, I think after I get the e-learn security certs, I'm gonna go for it.
I heard it's getting kind of old though, because they haven't renewed it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think they actually just renewed it.
Did they?
Yeah, because there was like a lot of talk of people cheating on the exam.
Well, it's been out for like 10 years or something like that.
So when that happened, they released another exam, and I heard the new exam is pretty tough. It might be like still like older material, but it's a new exam now. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, hopefully I get that, and then maybe the OSCE, which is pretty hard, and it focuses. I believe that one focuses a lot on exploit development too. So
yeah. I don't know if I'm ever going to touch that one.
Yeah.
At one point I was looking at the GSEC, but I lost interest in that one.
Someone I know, they actually just got the G Pen.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't looked. I've heard of it, but I haven't actually looked into it at all.
Yeah. They said that one was kind of boring. It was just like your traditional, like
exam.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So it wasn't like really.
If it's not practical, then I'm not really all that interested. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and let's give you our rapid fire questions. At some point, we're gonna put a clock on here. All right. So I don't remember all these, so I'm gonna look at the phone. I'm gonna cheat. So.
All right.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. PC, Linux, or Mac?
Me, it would be Mac. Reasons: I'll run VirtualBox or VMware and just throw Windows and Linux on it.
You can have everything. Yeah. Okay. Favorite scripting or programming language?
Scripting, I would say Python. Okay.
Red team or blue team?
Red, of course.
Of course. Bill Gates or Elon Musk?
Elon Musk.
Why?
Because the Tesla, I think, is fascinating. But from a security perspective, it's dangerous. I've seen it hacked already. I don't know how secure it is now, but just the thought of having a computerized car, fully computerized, it's pretty scary.
That is dangerous. I want to interrupt these questions.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that's a smart vehicle, pretty much.
Yeah.
How do you feel about smart devices? Because you work in security.
I think they're cool. I actually own some smart devices. I think you have to know how to secure them. Like, maybe not them physically, but the network they're on. So, let's say in your house, if you have Alexa and all these other smart devices, put them on a separate SSID than like what your laptop would be on, or your cell phones, things like that. Because, again, those devices can be hacked easily.
Right.
And people can actually pull, like, passwords.
Yeah.
Your Wi-Fi password off of it.
Right.
So, if you own a network, you own everything.
Are you a Band-Aid over the webcam kind of guy? Are you afraid of the government listening to your conversations?
No, I know they're doing it. I know I can't stop it.
I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's just like, I try to be as secure as I can. I mean, if you see me, you see me.
Right. I don't care. Walk butt naked right in front of the webcam.
Like, you see me, you see me. And the crazy thing is, like, I've done these actual hacks before.
Where you've seen how they work and everything.
Yeah, I can video record you. I can snap pictures of you. I can hear the audio.
Yeah.
You know, even with phones, like, you know, just with my test devices, you know, just putting backdoors on them, listening to phone calls, things like that. So.
All right, back to questions. Best song to work to? Or best music, if anything?
Me, silence. Like, for me, I can listen to nothing.
Okay.
If I am listening to something, it might be like an interview.
Really?
Like, I might be listening to, like, the Breakfast Club.
No.
And I'll just listen to them talk, whoever they're interviewing, and I don't work like that.
No, if I'm studying or labbing, straight anime soundtracks all day. iPhone or Android?
Me, iPhone, even though, again, security people, well, I'm not going to say all security people, but a lot of like IT people,
Android
for life.
I tried it. I can't.
Yeah.
Give me my iPhone.
Yeah, I need to see the blue bubble.
Yep. All right, Parrot OS or Kali? I think we answered this one earlier.
Yeah, we did, but I mean, I like Parrot, but I'll have to stick with Kali.
Yeah. All right, and finally, favorite security tool?
Favorite?
Yeah. Or let's say, you know what? Let's go most useful.
Most useful for me, I'm gonna say, for what I do now, Nmap.
Nmap. Yeah. I think Nmap will always be one of the most useful security tools. That's probably the first thing you should learn.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, in the real world, if you're doing a network pen test, most likely that's going to be like one of the first tools you're going to run anyway. So Nmap, and it's going to help you discover a lot of stuff on the network, which is going to help you like design how you're going to go about attacking this, attacking that, your whole approach. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, those were our questions.
Yeah.
That was the interview.
Cool.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Do you want to say anything to the viewers? Do you want to give anyone stuff to follow you on? And they're not on Instagram.
Yeah, not on Instagram.
You're on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Joshua Holmes. Don't follow my Facebook. You can't have that. Follow me on LinkedIn.
Cool. And once again, I'm the Immature Dad. You can follow me at the Immature Dad on everything. Thanks for watching the whole thing. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Thanks again for rocking with us. Peace out.